Vancouver, Canada, has long been one of the world's great scenic cities, a confection of coasts, crystal blues, and Canadian air. But for Ray Bonnet Rouge,
hey, how's it going, man?
the most satisfying sights
are
his screens, his couch, and above all, his roof.
the warmth, the comfort.
I was living on the street, and I was there for about a year and a half.
What does it say to you that you're here?
Success.
There are some in Vancouver who see in Ray enormous success.
Oh, pretty good.
His story of finding home intertwines with an experiment that could change on a grand scale how we treat those unhoused.
Well, who does that? Who gives you money out of a complete stranger giving you money, right?
In a city where high-rises swaddle the sky,
Vancouver is one of the most expensive cities in the world.
Jiaying Zhao was among a small group with an audacious idea.
This is the first randomized control trial done ever to test the impact of a cash transfer on people who experience homelessness.
It was called the New Leaf Project. They spent 1 year shadowing 115 people. 50 received a cash transfer up front of $7,500. The cash recipients spent 99 fewer days homeless and 55 more days in stable housing. They spent more money on education, food, and transit, and they didn't spend more on what some might expect.
There's actually a reduction in substance use severity over 1 year. The typical assumption is you have substance use, you have addictions, therefore you're homeless. Our evidence suggests it's the other way around.
What's going on, Kelvin?
Ray struggled with addiction for years.
It was quiet last night.
He spent much of his time in the area he takes us today,
It's your choice. It's nobody else's, right?
an area where he now works to help those stuck like he was.
Any street level drug that was out there, I was pretty well doing. And then one day, I really saw who I was. I actually saw myself in a mirror, and I really didn't like seeing what I saw.
Nope, he is.
Ray beat his addiction, but could never scrape enough money for rent until the New Leaf Project came calling.
My whole goal was to get education and find a decent place to live. They gave me the funds to get there.
A larger amount of $7,500 can put them into long-term planning, long-term thinking mode. We did not anticipate that the cash transfer will help people get into housing this fast. The results completely were astonishing and in a good way.
The plan now is to do it again, to replicate the study with similar ones in Canada and the US. And the question isn't so much what happens if the results aren't the same, but what happens if they are.
Hi, Dave. This is Amber Dice calling. How are you doing?
Amber Dice spends much of her day on the phone.
Keep me in mind if you think that's beneficial.
Dice's nonprofit, Foundations for Social Change, partnered with Zhao on the New Leaf Project. Their findings have brought many phone calls, and not just from Canadian area codes.
Washington and LA, Denver.
Are you reaching out to them or are they reaching out to you?
No, they're reaching out to us.
Projects like Vancouver's are taking place in several spots in the States, and at least in one case, the results match up. The University of Denver gave varying amounts of money to hundreds. After 6 months, the number using shelters or sleeping outside plummeted. The number now renting or owning a home soared. The question now, will it matter?
I was here for three and a half years, right?
Guaranteed income in some form has been picking up steam for a decade.
Nothing going on, right?
Guaranteed income as a remedy for homelessness is an entirely new concept.
I think that's a huge piece of why we exist, is to not create a Band-Aid, but to really try and find a solution for an issue that's affecting such a large population.
It brings us back to that city of coasts and crystal blues. Ray now works for Foundations for Social Change.
Yeah, thanks, man.
He spends time on Vancouver's streets, recruiting those where he once was to take part in the project he once joined. Then he comes home.
I'd like to get furniture that fits more to the apartment size, right?
Home where he ponders upgrading his couch. Home where a can of corn and mac and cheese is a taste of stability, a taste of success.
I give thanks for it every day, it's like knowing that I had the struggles before, and now being able to eat whatever I want, whenever I want, I give thanks to the big guy every day.
In Vancouver, Canada, I'm Matt Pearl.